So in the previous lecture we have working on this tool test. So previously we have split this part in half. If you want to work along with me, you can also open this file open. You can use this file tool test 1. I will cancel this. Now we will start doing the mesh. So first what I do, I will only want to see the half part. So I will hide the remaining half. So F5 for the mask. Here select solid and select the half part. Then mask it. I will do the mesh only on this half part. So for this I will save the view. To save the view, press V for the view, click on save. Now after that here I will start the mesh from here. Now you can see this is a smaller section here. I will do the hex mesh here. So this part, this yellow colored part is connected with this blue colored and also the red colored. So it means we have to take the projection also. For example, if I press D from here, for example, if I press D here and here select component and click on this, you can see there is no projection. So undo this. So for this I will go to surface edit, that is A, then go to trim with lines, here go to normal, here go to lines, surface, select this right surface, then lines. I will select all these lines, this line, this line, this line. So this should be complete projection like this. Okay, then trim. So once again solid view and press D. If I go to this, now you can see we have a proper projection. So undo. Similarly, we also want a projection onto this face also. So once again A, solid surface edit, surface, line. Then select this line and this line, trim. Okay, so if I once again hide this, you can see the projection properly. Now I can start the mesh on this. So in this case we are taking the mesh size, that is 5. So go to F12 surface, here select quad only. When you do the hex mesh, you only want the quad, not the prior elements. So default element size should be 5 and here element to surface first order. So we cannot do the mesh of this complete part at a single time, because you can see here is a curvature part. So what I do, first I will do the mesh of this, only this part. Okay, so for this what I do, click on this arrow, then select this part. So this is my part number 3. So right click and isolate only. Okay, so similarly from the bottom I also want this cut here. So F11 from this point up to this point. Similarly from this point up to this point. We can also take one split here from this point up to this here. Okay, now let's start the mesh. F12, select this face and mesh it. Okay, the mesh is fine here and I will click return. Click on this shaded view. Now to do the solid map, press Z and in the source I click on none here, select general here, element and in the desk. Okay, select element here, select element by face, then destination, this opposite face, and here in the along I will select mixed. I will go to lines, select this line, this line, this line and this line, similarly this line. Okay, then click on mesh. Okay, here in the size click on reject. Here this size should be 5. Mesh. Okay, do it once again. Destination, let's say this. Okay, lines are selected, then mesh. Now you can see the mesh is proper. Okay, so mesh is in solid map. Now I will have to do the mesh here. So first I will go to F12, select the surface mesh. So let's say if I select equal number of element here, okay, no problem, equal number of element here. Now in the along I also need these element, but we cannot take the solid element as the guiding element, so we need to extract the faces. So go to X and click on this solid map, find. So it is find the faces. Now I will hide the solid map. Okay, we also have to check the connectivity, so shift plus F3, and this tolerance should be, let's say 0.1. Always check the tolerance preview. Okay, no problem. Then solid map, press Z and select this element by face. Then destination, I will select the opposite face. In the guiding lines, I will select these lines, and in the element, click on element, I will select this face, element by face, then mesh. Okay, similarly let's do the mesh on this face also. So solid, this face, here I will take 2 layers at least. There is a trier. To remove the trier we need to increase element somewhere, increase or decrease. Okay, then escape. We also need the faces here, so press X, component and face, and I will select the wireframe view. So solid map, press Z, element, select by face. Make sure there is a proper connectivity here, otherwise it will not create the mesh. So destination, this opposite face, and here in the guiding lines, this line and this line, here we have elements for the guiding. Select the element by face, then mesh. Okay, so click on return here and once again return. So I will hide the faces here, and solid map, right click, and I will say show. I will also hide these elements. So now you can see we have completed the hex mesh of the smaller part. Okay, then click on V for the view, restore, and once again the solid. So we have completed the mesh of this region. So I will give it the name that says solid map 1 here. After that I will do the meshing of this part, these two parts, this blue one. Okay, so for this I will hide other parts. So mask, then select other parts also and mask them. Similarly here, mask them. Okay, so I don't want these elements also, so these are, I think, part of this 3. Okay, now only these two parts are visible. Return, press V for the view, save this view. Okay, so if I mask this part solid, for example, so now you can see these two parts are connected with each other. So it means we need to make sure the mesh of these two parts are connected. So first let's take the projection here. So go to surface, edit here, go to trim with lines, select this face, then lines. I will have to trim it with this line, whichever lines are in contact with the face. Select those lines and trim, and then solid view. So if I mask this solid, you can see we have a projection. So first I will do the meshing of the smaller part, that is red colored. Then I will do the meshing of this blue part because it is a bigger part. Okay, so we cannot do the hex mesh from left to right, or this from this left to right, we only have to do the meshing from top to bottom or bottom to top. Okay, so what I can do is I can do this mesh on the bottom and take it to the top, because bottom is a little bit complex. You can see it is not proper plane, but the top is proper plane. So I will do the mesh here. If I directly do the mesh here, you can see the mesh is not proper. So what I do, reject here, return. I will do some split here and go to F11 from this node to here. Do the split. Then select these surfaces proper. These are quad element. Then select this face and do the mesh. You can increase the number here. Here is a tria, so to remove the tria I will make it 3, let's say 3. Okay, so you can improve the mesh flow, but you have to spend some more time inside this. Let's say make it 2 and again make it 2 here. So there are some ways you can change the mesh flow. Okay, right now you can see there is no tria. So the mesh is done here. So after that I can go to this solid map, press Z, then element and select this element by face. Destination should be top. Then in the guiding I will select lines. So this line and this line. Okay, not this one. I will hide this blue part. So mask, hide this. Then return. Once again go to our solid map, select this element by face, this top as our destination. Then in the guiding lines I will select these lines, all these lines, vertical lines, and mesh. So you can see meshing is done here. Okay, and return. Now go to V for the view, click on restore. So we have done the mesh here. This is solid map. So change the name, let's say this is solid map 2 here. Okay, so I will take the projection of these element also. So for this we need 2D element. So extract the faces here, press X, select this component, find, and then I will go to shaded view. Return here. From here press shift plus F11 and select this face of the element by face, and in the destination select this another part. This is move. Return. Now I can go to, so this is basically our hex 12. Make a right click and isolate only. Okay, so you don't need the right one part, so hide this, then solid it. So here you can see basically we have taken the projection of the meshing we have done earlier. So in this part we will do the meshing from this left to right or right to left, because it is not possible from top to bottom. You can see the shape. So basically we will do the mesh on this face and drag it to this left face, but we have to make sure that our mesh should be in accordance with this existing mesh. So for this we need to also do the mesh on this face, and this should be proper quad element, like mesh can flow from left to right or right to left. First we need to make some changes into the settings. Go to preferences, you will see topology revision option. Here it is remesh. We need to select disassociate and OK. So the reason why we have changed this setting is because when you make some changes into the geometry, this existing mesh will change, and if you don't want this to change, you will have to select this disassociative geometry. In the older version of Hypermesh, you press O from the keyboard and go to mesh. You will see one option here, that is keep mesh. you have to select this keep mesh in older versions. Okay, so after that I will go to F11 and I will change this setting, change here, similarly here to here. Okay, so we will do the mesh from left to right or right to left. For this we will need this element as a guiding element. So for this I will do the mesh here, and before this we will have to associate the mesh because this mesh we have taken from another part. So F11, so F7 associate, select this face and nodes by face, associate. Okay, after that just do the mesh in all the faces like this. Make sure we need only the quad element. For example, here you can see the mesh is not connected. Let's try changing the size 10 and 10. Okay, the flow is proper here. Similarly, you can see all the mesh is connected. Here we have to make some changes. Let's say make it 4 and then make it 4, make it 4. Now you can see we have a proper mesh flow. So escape, press shift plus F3 and select this component. Here select 0.1 preview. So okay, it is fine, equivalence. And here I can see some, okay, here you can see this mesh is not connected. Now to make this mesh as a connected mesh, I will use the command that is ruled mesh. So I will press R for the ruled, but before this we will have to delete one row of element. So I will delete all these one row of element, then go to ruled R, here node by path, once again node by path, here mesh, delete surface. We don't want any surface here. So select this nodes here by path, and here for the second select this path like this and create, return. Okay, these are going in the blue part because okay, this hex 1 is the current, so select this current and this one, shift plus F11, and this mesh should go inside this part, that is select this and this part hex 12 and move. You can see the triad, so we have to remesh it again. So here element and remesh it, only this part. Now it is fine. So once again shift plus F3, let's see any preview. Okay, fine. And after this we will have to do the mesh from, let's say from left to right or right to left, any of the choice. Let's say I will do this from this left to right. So I will pick a split here, similarly a split here. Now I will do the mesh here. So this is mesh. Okay, these are properly connected. And similarly here we have 4 element. This is 6, so this should be 6 and this should be 4. Okay. Similarly here in the top, select this face and let's say make it 3, make it 5. Let's say I will make this 3. So you can change the settings and change the mesh flow accordingly like this. Okay. Once again check for the equivalence and preview, no problem. Now go to solid map, press Z, select this element by face, then destination is this face, and here we have line. Select the guiding lines, this line, this line, this line, and here we can select element as guiding. So select element and element by face, then mesh, click on return. So you can see solid map, I will give it name solid map 2. So if I go to press V and I will restore this and I will show the mesh. So you can see this mesh is completed. You can see it is properly connected. Similarly, this mesh is completed. And we will continue this in the next lecture. I will save as model. So previously this is 1, now this is going to be 2.